Hey guys, back to Hellblade, and Ian is with us this time. Hey Ian, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay, so continue. Hello?
He was trying to find the sword pieces after killing 2 gods.
Yes.
You killed a fire god and Marty Skurrel.
Yep. In crow form.
Well,
Okay.
not everyone's
Alright,
perfect.
We've got to find these runes, and quickly, because fire is coming.
Oh, well, I've never heard that one, but I had to think Game of Thrones would eventually up.
I've found it. Come on.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. Oh yeah, Ian, I've got to tell you this. Guess what they're remaking for the PS4?
What?
Night Trap.
What's that?
Right.
Oh God! To quote Red 13, where do I begin? You're aware of the Sega...
You kind of cut out.
Sorry, have you heard of the Sega CD, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
Night Trap is one of the games for that particular system. Ollie, you can describe it better than I can.
Well, basically, it's one of those full-motion video games. By which I mean, it's all live-action cutscenes, and you sort of... It's kind of like an adventure game. You pick your path thing, and the scenes play out. And it's basically about a load of girls at a slumber party or something, and you've got to stop a load of vampires, which are actually just men in bin bags, from killing them all.
It sounds familiar.
Then, if it sounds familiar to you, then it's more than likely you've ran into it, because everyone has heard of Night Trap in some capacity. It was one of those so bad it's good things, where apparently they re-released to make a full-on remake and put it on the PlayStation Store. This is around the same time that games such as Undertale are being put up on the PlayStation. That and Sonic Mania are coming out on the PlayStation Store.
No, I think the rot has progressed.
Ollie, you always think the rot has progressed.
But it has. Just let me find it.
I think I'm trying to think back. Didn't Spoony cover it?
Spoony?
Spoony from he used to be on that guy with the glasses.com.
I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, enough about Spoony. He, oh god, he's a con artist.
Really?
Yeah, he did like a Kickstarter campaign to start his own movie, and he reached the total fund to make it, but then a couple of months later, fans started asking, where's the movie? And he's like, oh, I've cancelled it.
Ah. Well, that's not good. That's most ungentlemanly.
Yeah, totally. He lost a lot of favour there.
Where is it? There it is. I found him. Bastards. But are you both on, by the way? You can see, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, fuck. No. Oh, god damn it. I'm dead. Right, I've got to find all 3 of those runes and find the door that they open before whatever that is kills me.
Quick, duck and cover.
Duck? And cover. Yep, it's definitely progressing.
That has got to be the biggest load of pig crap I've ever seen. That's enough out of you. Junior, here's a noise. It's a volcano.
Timmy gets a friend.
I love it when they actually see the volcano. And like, oh no, it's lava. What do we do? Duck and cover. And then they duck and cover, and then they just die. And then Chef writes a song about it.
Yeah. Oh, baby, every time we kiss, hot lava.
Hot lava. Lava so hard it makes me sweat. I'm so red and red. I'm wet. And then, of course, Stan kills Scuzzlebutt.
Oh, yeah. I did it! I finally killed something!
I am Scuzzlebutt, Lord of the Mountain. Behold my Patrick Duffy leg.
Hi, kids. I'm TV's Patrick Duffy. No! Why, God? Why?
Why Patrick Duffy, of all people?
It's random. I think.
Yeah, remember when they redid everything, but it was with ice cream at the end, and it suddenly they replaced Scuzzlebutt's leg with Brett Musburger.
Oh yes.
Shit. Right. So something is following me around.
And it's not the red mist from Silent Hill 3.
No. I think we've both made Silent Hill comparisons, haven't we, sir?
We have. I'm the Silent Hill aficionado, apparently. Well, that's actually Charlotte's job, but there we go.
Right, I've found the runes. Now where to go?
Okay, someone's just done a Power Rangers meme with Chris Jericho in it, in the Zordon tube.
Right.
You know what happens when Tommy isn't the Green Ranger? Power Rangers, you just made the list!
Huh.
They want to kill me!
The list of Jericho.
Ha! I found the door. Alright. Ah! Trophy earned. Cure for the plague.
It is common courtesy to give you the plague.
I think you mean plaque, sir.
Of course.
Senua. What happened?
Let's see.
They say that I'm cursed. What if they're right?
How would they know such a thing?
The subtitle job is awful.
It really is.
They're just people.
Oh yeah, it's loaded tonight, Ollie. Or it was.
They're scared.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch
They're
that.
afraid of what they can't.
Same
I love
here.
that WCPW loaded is back.
Children scared of the dark.
For ICW, double me and you. Oh, and Pete Dunne's injured, by the way.
What if my family
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so he's been removed from a few progress result shows. But it shouldn't be too bad, as he's basically not really working for WWE that much these days.
And
Hello, Jack.
Eva,
How you doing?
and Eva Marie is gone.
I didn't
I know,
realise she
Joy.
was still there, to be honest.
Well, she did
Oh.
sit on her ass for an entire year and do nothing, and just collect a paycheck.
She will not be missed.
She's talked about making a return at some point, but she's treating it as if her return will be something like a SummerSlam or WrestleMania style thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We already have a talentless hack who's basically not unable to wrestle and yet appearing on TV. It's called Lana.
Well, Lana has her uses as a manager, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're not doing
enough.
that anymore. Her gimmick now seems to be mouthing off at people and then them beating her up.
That's punishment for something.
Of course, it's punishment.
I thought you were going to say Brock Lesnar.
Oh no, Brock just barely turns up for work because apparently the wrestling lifestyle has never worked for him.
Yeah.
He's never been a fan of that whole working for WWE thing, so that's why he barely works at all.
Yeah.
Just get rid of him already.
Well, yeah, he's not actually a draw anymore, so it's not as if, anyone cares.
I actually kind of like that they rarely use him, but I think they should get rid of him soon.
I don't think they should put the belt on him, because especially a belt that young, it's not adding anything to it.
It still looks like crap.
Oh, don't get me wrong, the belt does look like shit. Yeah. Jam belt, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the fans all boo? Look what New Japan has. They've just made a United States title. I mean, yeah, it's held by a Canadian, but still.
Yeah, I follow that on Facebook now.
What? New Japan?
New Japan. Yeah.
I recommend New Japan for its, bit more serious side of things, but I also recommend What Culture and ICW just for their general existence.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, where else?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna need my ears for this one. Jack says that's why I've given up wrestling entirely.
What? Because WWE?
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of wrestling that isn't WWE. WCPW Loaded is back.
That's the thing. I think that's why GFW is not going to last in the end, because its entire purpose was to give an alternative to WWE.
Now there's plenty of alternatives.
Yeah, and a lot of them are better.
Oh god, I can hear something. Something that sounds like bugs. There'd better fucking not be a spider level. Oh, it's fire crackling.
Okay, it's not spiders. It's a spider with only 6 legs. Save the world or gimp spider?
Why is it always spiders?
I don't know.
Why not caterpillars?
Well, have you ever tried to play Resident Evil where they use zombified caterpillars or zombified snails? Not very threatening.
Oh, this talk about spiders make me having flashback to that Kevin Smith story.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, because apparently he was writing the script for Superman Lives, which was like a Superman film that was going to be shown back in the 90s, but it got cancelled.
Right.
Ah.
Because what happened was he had a choice between 3 scripts. One was based off an episode of The Outer Limits. The other one was Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian. Which he obviously didn't choose because he thought that the first film said everything it needed to without going tropical. And then the last one was Superman Lives, and he's like, "Oh yes, I want to do that one." They're like, "Okay, you're kind of new, but you need to get the producer's approval. He's like, okay. And so he goes to, I think his name is John Peters. Yeah, John Peters, the guy who owns the rights to the Superman films. And so he goes round to his house, and then he meets up with him, and John is like, you know what? I think I have heard of you, yes. Do you know why you and I are going to make a great Superman movie? He's like, why? Because we get Superman. We are from the streets. And he's like, okay, and it's like, okay. And then John is like, well, I have 3 rules, okay, for the new Superman film, okay? He's not allowed to fly. He's not allowed to wear that red and blue suit. And then in the 3rd act of the film, he has to fight a giant spider. And then he's like, any questions? And then Kevin is like, yeah, just 3. Why isn't he allowed to fly? And can't remember the reason. It's like, no, I don't want him. But he's like, no, I don't want him flying. Okay, he's like, okay, so, he's like, and then, okay, my second question is, why isn't he allowed to wear the red and blue suit? He's like, because it looks kind of, in quotes, faggoty.
Oh, God.
That's what he said, okay? Not
That's the worst
homophobic.
That's
not homophobic.
still pretty bad.
Yeah. Not homophobic, I'm just saying that's what he said, okay?
Yeah.
And then and then he said, my 3rd question is, why a giant spider? He's like, have you ever watched a nature program with spiders? They're like one of the deadliest animals in the animal kingdom. It's like, okay. And I want to do a homage to one of my favorite movies of all time, King Kong, when he emerges from that giant gate. It's like, okay. And so, you know, after he's visited, and after he's visited the producer, he goes back to the office, and they're like, so we got a phone call from John. You've made a very good impression on him. It's like, yeah, that it was quite the experience. And then they asked him, did he bring up the spider? He's like, oh my god, yes, he brought up the spider. And he's like, they're like, yep, every time with the fucking spider. And he's like, well, what do I do? They said, well, he's the producer. You got to do what he says. And he's like, okay, but the spider is like, call it whatever you want, just don't call it a spider. A Thargaryen snare beast. There's like, yep, go with that.
No.
And then so he starts typing up like a synopsis and all that for his idea for the film, following like John Peters' 3 rules. And then he shows it to the guys in the office, and he's like, and they're like, yeah, but it's like, yeah, but the synopsis is only supposed to be 1 page. And then Kevin's like, well, I'm just compensating because I'm fat. And so he goes back to John Peters, and he's like explaining the synopsis for him. And then it's funny because he says that Peter was lying on a couch with like his hands front of his fingers spread out like they're forming like a screen, and he's like imagining it, and it's like and so he's like and then so Kevin's like explains the synopsis of the story. He's like calling Superman by his many different names, and at one point he calls him Kal-El, and he's like, and then John is like, wait, who the fuck's Kal-El? He's like, that's Superman's name. Oh, why? It's like, that's his Kryptonian name. Oh yeah, planet, boom. Okay, got it. Carry on. And then, and it's
This
like,
guy's making me angry.
yeah. Yeah. And then, and then after Kevin's like finished reading the synopsis, John is like, "What? That's it?" He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty much it." He's like, "Where are the beats?" I'm like, "The what? The beats? The beats? You've got to have a little bit of action in there." It's like, what's that place called where up in the Arctic? And he's like, the Solitude of Solace. It's like, yeah, that place.
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude, yeah. It's like, doesn't he have any guards? And he's like, why should it have guards? He's Superman. He's like, oh, come on. That Brainiac guy, when he's going in there, he's got to fight something. He's got to have an action scene. And how about how about his place is guarded by polar bears? He's like, what? Polar bears. Have you ever seen a documentary about polar bears? They're one of the deadliest animals in the animal kingdom. And then at this point, Kevin is thinking, okay, this guy has way too much access to the Discovery Channel. And then it's like a couple of weeks later. It's like I think he gets then he gets a phone call from John. It's like John's like, I've got an idea. Why doesn't Brainiac have a pet, like a robotic dog? It's like, what?
Why?
Because
like,
why
oh,
would
come on.
he?
It's like it'd be good for the kids, you know. Something it'd make great toys and all that, you know, like Chewbacca. He's like, but he's like, but Brainiac wouldn't have a robotic dog. And then John is like, I don't care. I want my fucking Chewie. And then and then I think when one of Kevin Smith's other film, I think it was Mallrats, that was released, and he invited John to the screening, and then afterwards he asked John, well, what do you think? He's like, I do like the film, yes, but I just had this great idea. What if Brainiac had a robotic assistant? It's like, okay, and you know, I really like that gay black character in there. I really love his voice. We've got to have that voice for his robotic assistant. He's like, you want Dwayne to voice the robot? He's like, well, I'm sure he'd be thrilled to do it. And then, yeah, and oh yeah, I forgot to mention is like who John's like first choice for Superman is.
Please tell me it's not James Brown.
No, it's Tim Robbins. And it's like
I can just hear Ollie slowly dying inside.
Yeah, it's like
every breath in his body is just trying to claw itself out so he can asphyxiate faster.
Because he's like, okay, that's an interesting choice. Why do you choose Tim Robbins? He's like, have you seen that film he was in? He has the eyes of a killer. He's like, but dude, this is Superman we're talking about.
Superman doesn't kill anything until you know, until Man of Steel.
Yeah, and then the story ends with Tim Burton taking over the project and just kicks Kevin Smith off the project because he wants to bring in his own writers.
Oh God!
And then and he even brought Nicolas Cage in to play Superman.
Oh. Oh my God! Oh.
They even have
Ian?
photos of. There's
Ian?
even photo. Yeah.
You have done something I never thought anyone would ever do. You've made me appreciate Zack Snyder.
Well, Well,
I am this can look. If I didn't know you better, I would believe you were making this shit up just to piss everybody off. But the sad thing is, you know what the worst part about this entire thing is? I
Well,
believe you.
well,
I
But
believe
that's
the
what
truth.
Hollywood
word.
producers were like. I think they're still
Yeah.
like that. But
I know that, but that's look. The funny thing is, I get that Kevin Smith's a big comic fan.
Jack
The
says
problem
it's
is that
killing me.
Just remember that at one point they let Kevin Smith write a Batman, and they instantly regretted doing it because he didn't fucking get it at all.
Yeah. And
That's
Yeah.
the final irony.
yeah, the fun, but yeah, because it's true. Because there's pictures of Nicolas
I'm
Cage dressed as Superman.
I'm sorry. Oh god, that's going to be terrifying. The guy who
And-
tries to murder his child with an axe in a movie while looking completely demented is playing Superman. All I'm expecting him doing now is flying around the hotel in a Superman suit now, shooting lasers, going, Danny!
Yeah, and it's kind of and basically it's like, but fortunately, Superman Lives never happened. It fell through.
Yeah, I can tell.
But
I wonder why.
but Kevin Smith concludes the story with, it's like, I recently went to the but then afterward, I recently went to see a movie afterwards, and it was produced by John Peters. It's a film called Wild Wild West, and in it was a giant mechanical spider.
I think there's a connection.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
was desperate to get his mechanical spider any way,
Well,
shape, or
some
form.
kind
he
of a
could.
giant spider.
Yeah.
Why? Why was the giant spider integral?
Because he's been watching too much of the Discovery Channel.
I'm sorry, but this guy sounds like the kind of person who, if he had the rights to Batman, he'd say, "Why does he have to be wearing dark colours? Why can't we just have him in a yellow and greenish kind of thing?" But that's Robin's outfit. Yeah, but let's switch it up. Let's make a brooding teenager. Oh, and the Joker. The Joker has got to dress like an actual jester. Oh, and he's got to have a pet. Let's have him have a pet monkey.
You know what?
But let's have the monkey. But let's have the monkey
There is
speak.
probably a
Let's
way
have-
to make that work.
Yeah, but let's have the monkey speak and have it voiced by Bob Dylan.
You're aware he's dead, right?
We
What?
can just,
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
if you want
Bob Dylan
Superman
said
to
no
fight
one.
something giant, use Starro. Yeah, but you see, in the 90s, people, like, Hollywood executives were, well, and still are, really dumb.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not wrong there. Actually, sadly.
It's
Yeah.
this is kind of weird because when they
Kind of
wanted
makes
to
you appreciate the movies we've got now, doesn't it?
yeah,
It
it's like they've been
sadly
trying.
does.
It's kind of weird because back a long time ago they would try to do an X-Men movie, and you know who wanted, who the first choice was for Wolverine?
Oh, I've heard this, but remind me.
Bob Hoskins.
Oh my god, yes! I remember that. Bob Hoskins.
It's good to talk, Bob.
Or go where I wanna go.
I'm sorry. You might as well have him voiced by the Churchill dog.
Oh yes, Bob.
So strange that the guy
Well, he's good. He's good at what he does, and what he does isn't pretty. He sells insurance.
And apparently he does stuff with celebrities, like help Rolf Harris move house.
Yeah, that's got to be worrying, especially now, with Rolf in the situation he's in.
then comes the reckoning.
Yeah. Although, Matthew Vaughn almost directed X-Men 3. That has to go down as one of the biggest missed opportunities in cinematic history. Because he went on to direct X-Men First Class, which was really good, and Kingsman: The Secret Service, which is also really good.
Yeah. Oh, apparently a lot of fans are begging Kevin Smith to do like a comic book adaptation of his script for Superman Lives.
As long as we
to
don't
Kev-
have the giant spider.
Superman
It has
should
to
not
have-
be. Superman should not be enjoyed morbidly.
No, the fans do want the giant spider. They want it in all its they want it in all its original glory,
Oh God.
just for a laugh.
Yeah, why not?
Oh God.
I mean, some of the earlier like Superman, the designs for the super suit was terrible because
Oh, Ollie, while I was in town, fun enough, now that you mention it, remember how I used to tell you about all the old comic book covers?
Yeah.
I found a Superman and Batman comic where Batman, for some reason, is on trial by a bunch of ancient pilgrims from Salem for being a witch, and Superman is lighting the flames. And it's got Batman going, "Darn it, Superman! You know I'm innocent. Why would you lie?" Obviously, this does not beat the whole Aquaman and Jimmy Olsen dying in the desert, and Superman standing there with a glass of water and saying only one of them can live. Or Superman making Superman and Batman forcing Robin and Jimmy Olsen to dig their own graves while holding a gun on them, but Superman says he won't kill them, but Batman will.
How the hell would a giant spider enter the story, says Jack.
you
Nobody
mean the
knows.
Targaryen snare beast.
Yeah. It would be an alien of some kind.
Yeah, because I actually read the script for it.
Right.
Oh God.
Yeah, apparently it's like it's something that Brainiac collects like rare things, and one of them was the Targaryen snare beast. It's inside this tiny little glass. It starts off as small, but then by the end of the film, it's like this giant like creature.
Oh God. Did the guy spend a watch a marathon of arachnophobia, shit himself enough times and go, I need to add this in my movie?
Yeah. It's because it's all because he wanted to pay homage to King Kong.
King Kong.
Yeah, where he burst through the gate at the beginning on the island. He wanted to pay homage to that scene because he.
For God's sake. With a giant fucking spider.
Yeah. Call it whatever you want, but don't call it a spider. A Targaryen snare beast.
You know, I did always find it weird that in Wild Wild West there was a giant mechanical spider.
But now you know why.
Right,
but
we
he's
have
moving
a
his erection
torch.
away from the... Oh shit, is this the bit?
This might be the bit.
Before we go ahead, explain to Ian about this bit.
Right.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Jim Sterling?
Oh yes, from wasn't he the Twilight Zone guy?
No, Jim Sterling is a game critic / journo who does the Jimquisition. And, well, he's pretty good, you should check him out. But he played this game and came across a game-breaking bug involving a torch. Basically,
Alright.
there's a point where you've got to run from darkness. If it gets you, you'll die. And he missed the opportunity to relight his torch, so he couldn't progress. But the game had auto-saved behind him, so that he couldn't go back and relight it either.
Oh dear.
So that basically was it for him.
Alright. Just don't you go making the same mistake.
Yeah, that's why we made this. We explained this.
Yeah. Apparently,
Here we
he
go.
warned on Podquisition this week that a waterfall will at some point put your torch out. there will be a torch ahead of you to relight it. Do not run past it like he did.
I'll find you.
Oh yeah, I was just explaining. It's like I've seen like the designs of the Superman costume.
Yeah.
I'm still just
And-
trying to imagine Jack Nicholson in a Superman costume.
Did I say
And
Jack
I can't-
Nicholson?
Yes.
I think I meant Nick Cage.
Oh God, not Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
The guy who actually went mentally insane, had a nervous breakdown on Ghost Rider, and that's why he looks completely fucked up in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I meant Nick Cage.
Okay. That's not as funny.
Yeah.
You
Because
sure you didn't mean Thanagar? I've just done a quick search and I've not found any Targaryen. I don't think it's a real thing. It was just something he made up for the movie, wasn't it?
yeah, or just type in like Superman fights a giant spider.
I'm sorry, just the idea of Superman fighting a giant spider.
Oh yeah, I was just explaining the suit. Yeah, yeah, like I said, it's completely abandoned the red and blue, and it's gone for more like
Yeah.
that. You know when oil gets poured into water, it has that sort of rainbow color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the color is.
Okay.
It's like this weird, like alien, silvery, like sparkly alien thing.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I think the idea was Tim Burton's idea, and he's like, I just wanted to make him look more like an alien.
Yeah, that does sound like a Tim Burton thing, and that's the depressing part.
He's like, he's an outcast. I understand how that feels.
Oh, fuck off, Tim Burton.
Yeah. And the thing is, Tim Burton, he doesn't like Kevin Smith.
Really?
Yeah, because Kevin Smith was explaining, it's like he was just one day he was like talking to someone on the phone. It's like he was just casually saying, it's like, I didn't really think that Tim Burton film was very good because so and all that. And then apparently the guy he was talking to knew Tim Burton, and he actually told Tim Burton this, and he's like, and then Kevin was like, "No, I didn't think Tim Burton would ever react because to this because he's like a big director and all that, but he did react. He was like, oh, the Clerks guy. Well, this is what I think of him," and then he starts bad-mouthing Kevin Smith and all that.
I think
Saying his film. Yeah.
The Clerks guy.
Yeah.
I didn't have much respect left for Tim Burton, but
I'm still waiting for that Beetlejuice sequel.
yeah, the last original thought he had.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not even his original idea. Because
I'm gonna take a sword.
yeah, Tim. Yeah, because Beetlejuice was an idea written by someone else, and it was meant to be a straight up horror film.
Right.
Okay.
And apparently Beetlejuice was originally going to be a winged demon.
Well, that's just a massive. That's a completely different thing than what we got.
Yeah. And then Tim Burton's like, no, let's make him wacky. And originally it wasn't Michael Keaton who was supposed to play him.
Oh.
Who was originally
It was
going to do it?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Ah.
from the Rat Pack.
Huh.
But well, he didn't do it, and so they got Michael Keaton. I mean, there isn't that much original stuff that Tim Burton did.
No, I mean, let's face it, when Tim was given access to do the Batman movies, they instantly started to regret it.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, the first film wasn't that bad.
Well, the thing is, he hated it, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't really his thing. I mean, he was just directing it, but he didn't do anything else.
Yeah, I know. He didn't really have much of it. Didn't really do much of anything.
But then,
they let him have full disclosure, full control over Batman, the Batman Returns movie, and
Yeah.
the second, and literally almost to the second they let him do what he wanted, they instantly regretted it. They had to apologize for they had to change the McDonald's toys and everything because of the way he designed the Penguin.
yeah,
They also had to apologise to several. They also had to all but apologise to basically a parent group or something for basically how the movie was, because they weren't anticipating it to be as horrific as it was. Because making the Penguin an over-the-top sexual deviant was Tim's thing, and then they couldn't get rid of Tim fast enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll still enjoy The Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah.
I mean, Liz loves Tim Burton stuff, but honestly, I can't stand 90% of his stuff.
Yeah. Apparently, they're gonna let him do another live-action Disney adaptation.
Oh, for God's sake. Alice in Wonderland was awful, and apparently the sequel was not much better. I don't know, I've not seen it, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, but it gets worse.
Yes, I've seen the Nostalgia Critic's view of the entire thing, where he basically took Alice from Alice Madness Returns, the probably best Alice that's been made in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And basically has her slaughter most of the things, because all of Tim Burton's things are usually his wife Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp being put in everything, or singing very annoying songs, and then singing them all with only vowels.
Well, Helena Bonham Carter's not with him anymore.
I wonder if they'll do the same thing that happened with Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich, where he ends up going back and editing all the movies that he did of her to remove her nipples.
The thing is though, they were never married. Well, Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, they were just together for a long time, but now that they're separate, who got custody of Johnny Depp?
Yeah, now it's free to be with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Oh God! Remember when those names weren't annoying? Like,
No,
Pirates of the Caribbean 1 sort of time, when Johnny Depp was still good.
Well,
I did watch that movie with Liz, where Johnny Depp plays a character where he's written a story, and then this guy turns up and keeps claiming he stole his story, and every time we try to find evidence, the people who have that evidence keep getting murdered, and it turns out the person who keeps claiming he stole his story is just another variant of one of his mental, psychosis breakdowns. It's just another personality he has.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's actually just Johnny Depp going around trying to find evidence that he created this story and didn't steal it from this crazy Texan guy. And it turns out he is also this crazy Texan guy, and then tries to kill his girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
But seriously, that Superman thing sounds like the most out of character thing ever.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, we've got to do a scene where Batman is turning into Batman, but we need to focus on what he's like under the hood. Oh, I see. So we do like a whole thing of him as Bruce Wayne. No, we do an entire 10-minute thing, like montage, of him putting on makeup. But that isn't anything. No, it'll be fun. People will love it. We'll show a fun side of Batman. He'll start doing all kinds of weird makeup things to make himself look fabulous under the mask and stuff. But then he'll put the mask on so he looks serious. But we'll know that's not in his character, though. Why would he do that? Because I did that one time, and I don't want to feel guilty.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what Disney want Tim Burton to do next?
Oh God, I'm dreading this. But go on.
Dumbo.
Shut up, Dumbo, the elephant that got dumped.
Tim Burton's like, I understand Dumbo's pain. He's an outcast.
For fuck's sake.
So am I. That's the thing. Everyone in all the main characters in Tim Burton's film is a bloody outcast.
You know, there's so many of them, I don't think they're classed as outcasts anymore. They're just the norm.
They can have their own society.
Yeah.
And they'll still claim they're outcasts.
It's like, and I've got the perfect composer, Danny. Danny, sure, give him what? Because College Humor did a sketch on that.
Oh God.
Tim Burton. It's like they were like, it's like a bunch of people like propose a script to him. And he's like, it's all right, but how about we make the main character an outcast to society?
This sounds very similar to when the Nostalgia Critic was making fun of Mark Zuckerberg. Not Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who did the DC who was doing the DC movies and was obsessed with making everyone depress it.
What, Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder, basically, if he did the Marvel movies, and horrible.
Yeah.
How do you
And
get
it's like-
Zack Snyder confused with Mark Zuckerberg?
I don't know. I've got him on the mind for some reason. Anyway, basically he just starts doing the Marvel movies, and he basically seems to say the same thing to everyone, including Captain America. Like, no, you don't understand what Captain America is. Is a hero? No, he's a killer. No, and then he makes everything ingrainy and makes them all look like prostitutes. And then as soon as the real director comes back, he's like, oh crap, and then runs away to go back to do his DC thing. Though it is always fun to watch the Nostalgia Critic rip apart Suicide Squad. Slowly and painfully. Just to show that the Joker, that Jared Leto deserves every negative thing that he gets. It makes me grateful that in Fight Club he got his mouth punched out.
And yeah, because I remember there was a bit where he goes, it's like they're like, but Tim, that's the same plot you use in every one of your movies, and he's like, I know, that's why it's so good. And it's like, and I've got the two perfect leading people for the part. Get Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. I've got him on speed dial. And it's like, Danny, show him your latest composition. And Danny Elfman is like, and he's like, but that just sounds like every other soundtrack he did for you.
Yeah. I have seen I have seen when Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Comedy, when he did this thing where it says a necrophiliac has sex, and it shows a guy in a morgue, and then it turns out he's just Helena Bonham Carter. You're not a dead body. No, people get that mixed up. I'm Helena Bonham Carter. Don't you realize that no one will be able to make fun of you? Tim Burton, no one will be able to say that you're a talentless hack who hasn't had an original thought since Beetlejuice, and that you should stop putting Johnny Depp in all your movies, and if you like Johnny Depp, you should just have sex with him. People can't just say that anymore. Well, that'd be swell.
How's the game going?
Still, it could be...
Well, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. There's a maze.
Oh, let's hope there's no giant spiders.
Yeah. Check, Sam, Wikipedia the producers for this game. No, don't.
I don't think it's who you think. I won't.
I just hope John Peters was not involved.
No, still, it could have been worse. It could have been that. It could have been Batman Forever. We can all agree that was terrible.
There's been worse Batman movies.
Oh yeah, there has.
Batman and Robin.
Still better than
So
Batman v Superman,
yeah. I just think that the worst version of the Riddler ever.
What, the Jim Carrey version?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that version of the Riddler just makes me want to kill myself.
Hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate the fact that they basically screwed the guy who played Lando Calrissian out of him being Two-Face, just because they wanted to have Tommy Lee Jones in.
Hmm.
Because apparently the only reason he actually ever came in to do the Batman movies at all was because they promised him that if he came in to be, to be Harvey Dent in the first two Batman movies, he could be the Two-Face when the movies when Two-Face debuts in the movies.
Hmm.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze is just wrong.
Jack says,
Well, that movie...
You're insane. Who could play it better? I think he's talking about the Riddler.
I'm sorry, but the Riddler is supposed to be an intellectual who's basically almost on the level of Bruce Wayne in terms of intellect, but he takes it to a stupid degree, to an obsession. Jim Carrey was just a twat.
Wally Wingert can play it better.
Wally Wingert. Who's he?
He's the guy who voiced him in the Arkham games.
Ah.
Nick fucking Dismore could play a better version of the Riddler.
And there's the guy who played him in Gotham. He was good.
I've still not seen Gotham. I'm horrible at getting around to watching things.
I know. Remember how long it took for you to get round to Rick and Morty?
Yep.
And you got into it around a very good time, because if I remember correctly, you started watching it just before you went to Alacon.
Alcon, yes.
Yeah, and then you started wearing the Rick and Morty shirt you got shortly afterwards, and then you got hugged by a Rick cosplayer.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many people is going to go as Rick as a pickle.
Yeah.
Do any of you remember the Animorph? Do any of you remember the old Animorph books?
I read a couple of them.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the covers?
Oh yeah.
Because they've done a Pickle Rick one.
Awesome.
Where he's just going from being Rick to being a pickle.
So, why did your grandpa turn into a pickle?
You might have noticed, despite your many distinguishing features, I didn't give you a name like Goliath or Scar. That's because you're not special. I mean, you're special to these rats, but they're dead.
Does Grandpa often turn into a pickle?
The funny thing is, the day I watched that episode, I actually had to go with my mother-in-law to... Well, she has like a therapist session. I
Yeah.
made sure I didn't go in.
Oh, I've got to follow the voice.
Pickle Rick! Turn yourself into a pickle. Why? I like that, you know, Summer and Morty already know why he did it.
He was more interesting as a pickle. Rick and Morty is one of the smartest shows on TV, as well as the darkest. Because
Look, it's Archer.
Dan Harmon is a genius. Actually,
Well, that...
someone else wrote Pickle Rick, but it was really smart. There's on Twitter there's this person I follow called Film Crit Hulk, which is basically the persona is if the Hulk was infused with a film critic and suddenly gained a deep abiding love of cinema. And and there's also the channel Wisecrack who talks about Rick and Morty every week. And it's just it's all just all these layered meanings and stuff. It's really clever.
Well, look, Rick and Morty has become one of the biggest shows on TV, to the extent that it's not even out on Blu-ray and DVD in this country. It's only on Netflix, and yet you can't walk into an HMV anywhere in the country without seeing the posters, all the merchandise, the pops, all that stuff. I mean, I have the Blu-ray of the first season because I caved in and bought it last year. I mean, Liz watches it with me. She did like laugh at some of the Pickle Rick stuff. Honestly,
I would have thought it had been a little dark for her.
She doesn't mind it so much. She doesn't really like Rick himself. She doesn't like the fact that he's basically abusive to his grandson.
Yeah, no one's supposed to like that.
Although I did sometimes joke about the Citadel. Well, yeah, I know that. The Citadel of Ricks, though. That's the one thing I always love, because I can just imagine a citadel of me's, and there's always a me and there's always a you.
Yeah.
And I just love the first joke I always enjoyed them doing was the machine of unspeakable doom. Just how they give that one big explanation as to what it does, and then just mention a really small one that's just as horrible.
Yeah.
You are confined to the machine of unspeakable doom, which will switch your conscious and unconscious minds, rendering everything you ever dream of will become meaningless, while everything you know is impossible to grasp. Also, every 10 seconds it stabs your balls.
I'm a boy. She felt so. He said he could help me.
It's a trick.
He said I could be normal.
Normal.
Oh my god, that voice in her head is her dad.
Hello, Daddy.
He's going to save you.
I am your father.
When they see the rot growing inside you, they will turn their back on you.
Oh, man.
Pickle Rick!
The gods can only fix you through my hand.
Mr. Pickles is evil.
Oh god, Mr. Pickles is just... With the absence of Drawn Together, Mr. Pickles is basically my go-to for the horrible... just the stuff that's just horrible for the sake of being horrible without needing a point.
Yeah.
Just the first 10 seconds is all you need to see of, the first Mr. Pickles' evil rant. Where he kills a hooker, then cuts off her legs, and then starts wearing them, and then like dancing for money, and then buying porn.
Will make everyone suffer. You will have blood on your hands.
Or the fact that he can literally just speak in like devil speak, and it somehow subdues every animal, including a steroid-infused bear. Beeroids. And it's just how his killing doesn't. There's no provocation for the horrible things he does.
Oh,
I mean, the first few seconds
sword.
is... Oh shit!
With grammar reforged, you will have Odin's blessing to walk.
It's just like the first few seconds where that guy shows off his abs because he's been drinking beeroids, and then suddenly Mr. Pickles just turns up and then kills him, ripples his intestines out, and lets him die.
And the sword will lead you to
Or when he keeps putting human faces in things just to scare the grandfather. Like his entire existence is just tormenting the grandpa.
He wants me to take
You will pay a price for this.
Alright, I got a sword.
Nice.
But years later, with Zimbel's parting words,
Mr. Pickles is evil.
the darkness came back with a vengeance.
Oh, Mr. Pickles.
Although I did like that one with the superhero guy who lost his identity, so he just started putting super sour gumballs up his ass. And he becomes a criminal, just stealing metal so he can sell it for money to buy more of it.
See it clearly now, Senua.
I see you read me.
Oh yeah, the crazy Mexican woman who he's threatening to say that claim that everyone's raped her in some way. We're just when they take the superhero guy to rehab, and then they mention that they've got giant metal suits for when he's better. He just bites the guy's hand off out of nowhere. We're like, we need you to open the door. Hold on, and he just bites through his own hand and throws it to
It's
him.
like a...
Oh. You know, you could have just come over here and used your own hands to, open the door. Damn it. Oh god, I can't watch, and just cuts his own eyes out with a broken bottle. You could have just closed your eyes. Oh, damn it. I think at one point I made the comment to Ollie about someone we knew and saying, well, he couldn't take his life anymore, so he just started buying sour gumballs and sticking them up his ass.
Bring it, bitch.
Stop posing. Ah, my skills. I'll buy all the gumballs, and I'll make one so big, and then I'll stick it up my ass. And then there was that woman with the the face for an ass, who he then killed and then turned her corpse into a guitar.
Sea of corpses. The corpse wailed for itself.
So I did see that recent one with that cannibal on the bus who just would not stop making bad jokes.
Shining fields. Their memorial stone a sacred.
I said I don't think I'll have I'm sorry, I'm out of Chinese, so I think I'll have Mexican. Will you shut up? Get it? Because I'm a cannibal.
Come not with disturbed mind.
I mean, I did try the Atkins diet, but there's very few people called Atkins. Yum, 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 yum. Damn it, can't you just be a normal person, like the Strangler, or date and rape Ron?
Do you hear the suffering, Senua? As a precious gift of sight, you see the souls that rot here in this sea of corpses. Do you feel the blood running cold on your skin? Do you hear their endless cries?
He was a fine young
beads
cannibal.
round their putrid wounds. They were once brothers, sisters, and loved ones. And look at what you have done to them. All because you were a coward, because you ran from your curse instead of facing it. When you turned your back on the father Zimbel, you turned your back on the gods, and let the darkness leak out upon your people. Why must they pay for your heresy?
Ugh.
Ah, good. We finally get some combat. So it's not looking good for you. It all started when I met a man called Mr. Pickles.
Ugh. Oh God. He has guard break!
He has guard break. Fuck.
Ugh. 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 Oh, duh.
It's nearly over. Finish it.
All right.
Hi, human face. Then, when I tried to open my book, there was another human face.
Behind you.
Oh.
Finish this.
Ah.
Focus now. Focus now. Stop them.
Oh. Oh, this isn't looking good. Ah.
Oh, don't worry, Ollie. It's not as if death is permanent.
Nah. Although that is the entire reason I bought the game. Not that I'm disappointed with it. It's a good game.
Well, next time we'll do something like, I don't know. We've got quite a few things we can do. We can do Until Dawn next time, or well, if you have Life is Strange, we can do that.
We could.
Life is Strange is good.
Or the new season of Batman.
Could do.
Oh, well, we still have to do the Tale of Silent Bruce.
Ah, yes.
Was it? Galena.
Do 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 Chewbacca.
Do you hear the voice of your mother, Galena? She calls for you, Senua. Go to her. Answer her pitiful call.
Or The Wolf Among Us.
I have yet to play that.
Just took her life and it will take. Mama!
Second season coming out next year.
Nice.
I think the combat system in this game is okay. Yeah, I quite like it. It's
It's the darkness when it came forth. let the darkness infest her. But she didn't run. She escaped the illusion of how she gave her life to the gods. If only you had done the same, the world would have been spared this horror. It's not too late. She's calling for you. Why don't you join her?
Oh god, it's another Minotaur.
Oh god, the bloody Minotaurs.
Actually, I think this one's a new one.
It's Manta!
Oh! He just threw something.
Life's not strange, it's disturbing. Yes, yes.
Ah! Ah! Oh. 3 of them. There's 3 of them. That's not good for me.
Oh shit, no cake for you, man.
Also not good for me.
That's not good for you, that's not good for you, that is also not good for you.
Yeah. Oh, 1 down. Oh god, there's another one. Every time I kill one, another one comes up.
What am I doing wrong?
Ah! Ah! Oh. Ah! Oh god, it's one of those guys. Ah. Now at least it's just him. Ah.
You
Right,
can
now-
take him, Ollie.
Now that it's 1-to-1, I'm a bit more confident.
It's nearly over.
Ah. Oh, God, that wasn't even all of it. He has guard break!
Fuck. That's going to become our slogan, isn't it? Keep calm and
Put it on
fuck
a
it's got
shirt!
guard break. Put
Keep
it on
calm.
our shirts. Keep calm and fuck it's got guard break. Go right there with enjoy the wonderful, wonderful play sounds of Raccoon City, including oh god, it's eating my brain.
I think I destroyed that. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll teach you to be dead.
Raccoon City.
They're too close together.
Or Silent Hill.
Well, Silent Hill has more of the mystical thing going on, whereas Raccoon City has the whole being a hole in the ground now. Still, Resident Evil 2's remake should be good if done right. God, the possibilities with it, they were endless.
Come on, you.
Look, a dining room.
What is
What?
this?
What is it? Blood. Oh yeah, I saw someone mod the game where they could move during the cutscenes, and for some reason they kept shooting Barry, and he actually kept reacting.
Really?
She literally had him follow, like, you know, like when you have a second character as an NPC and they just follow behind the stairs of the mansion and just kept shooting him with a shotgun.
Finish this.
Poor Jill. A gun on either side. You could
I
almost
wonder
say
if I can
you're
break his shield.
maybe a Jill sandwich.
Oh, I no need. He was
Oh.
dazed, so I killed him.
Suck it up, Barry.
Wait, my sword's still out. There you are. Ah!
I shall feast upon your mortal coil.
Bring it, bitch.
Bring it on.
Oh shit, there's 3. One down. 2 down. Three down.
I promised you delicious candy. How many times must I bat yours? Till delicious candy falls out. He's really putting his all into this.
Oh god, he's
go.
a... Oh yeah, the charge strike thing dispels the whole, you know, when they become ghosts and you can't hit them. You've just got to hit them with that. I now have a way around that.
Roadhouse.
Die!
So
Alright.
that you may know peace. Die, die, die! So that you may know peace.
This has to be it. How many more of them could there possibly be?
You passed the test.
Okay.
The endurance test. Many people would have died. Become giant piles of dead corpses. But you persevered and showed that you could last against my preconceived notion of how much you could take.
Rudy.
Rudy van der Singh. Though you know that I'm more like Spider than Rudy.
Yeah.
Spider Dijon.
Yeah. Oh god, 2 of the bullmen people. Oh crap.
Don't call it this spot. Yeah, don't call it a Minotaur, but it is one.
Ah.
Why are you fighting for someone who's already dead? Just courage. Is that for
As long as it isn't a giant spider.
thank you for what you have done to him, to his friends, to his father.
The Targaryen snare beast.
That was just the creepiest fucking thing I've heard in a while.
Alright, one of them's down.
It's right up there with that weird lizard man who keeps whispering predator juice in my ear.
Predator juice.
Predator juice. So there's this thing I used to watch called Space Chats. It was I can't remember what it was actually called. It was made by Mondo Media, where it's basically these 2 people in space. One's a koala and one's a human, but he keeps pulling the Captain Picard thing of constantly fucking other aliens.
Do you mean Captain Kirk?
No,
Picard
although
would
Kirk
never
did
do
appear
such.
in one of his episodes. They kept competing over who got the best tang. Although he did also destroy a crystal that could control the minds of women, because he took offence to the fact that it was apparently made of the hardest thing in the universe. And he went, the hardest thing in the universe? But then just pulls his pants down and then fucks it till it breaks. Oh, and then a bunch of cultists stole his penis after 6 days. He didn't read the contract he signed. Dude, they stole my penis. Luckily I have a homing device in it. Why do you have a homing device in your penis? Dude, look at my crotch, and then ask that question again. Touché. That's my pee-pee. We do things together. Fun things. Although at one point he went to like a world where it was basically Pride and Prejudice, but then he got Predator Juice, which just makes him ridiculously sexually active, but also makes him invisible, like the Predators when he wants. Who throws a sword overhand?
How many more of you can there be?
Oh yeah, he also made a wish to the Greek gods, and he got boobs at one point, and then I'm starting to think I've got buyer's remorse. Can I have a feel of that buyer's remorse? You know, weird thing. Have you ever noticed that your spaceship is shaped like a penis? No, we have never noticed that. You are the first person in all of the known universe to ever mention that to us.
Alright. God, the odd Jon Snow fighting the White Walker. Well, I think that felt a bit more like the Battle of the Bastards.
And then Ollie falls off and cracks the earth because he's so fat, and then it sucks everybody in.
It swallows the entire Night's Watch.
If only we were as old and demented as George R.R. Martin.
One day we will be.
It's something to hope for. Wieners, floppy wieners, floppy wieners, floppy.
You know what would be really good for this game? A horde mode. Like just a survival mode.
So basically
More-
an endurance test of
Yeah.
fighting guys over and over again.
Yeah, enemies will come at you. Just hold out as long as you can.
I can see that working. You know, a show I missed from Netflix that was oddly good considering it was made in the 90s?
What?
Daria.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
I never caught
I love that show. I just loved it. She's just like cynical and depressed, and she's got like a dumb airhead sister. And one of the things I shared at one point was this one where she goes, "You've got a tattoo? Oh, don't worry, it's only temporary. Oh, good, you got a tattoo to match your personality." And there was one where her and her friend made an art project which was actually, meant to make a statement, but the school kept trying to censor it, so they didn't enter it, because it was a voluntary thing. But the principal then forces them to enter it and then edits it. Then they steal it back and edit it back to what it was. So then she tries to call the police and then calls the parents, and unfortunately doesn't remember that Daria's mother's a lawyer.
Trophy earned. Warrior. Bah!
I thought this thing was voluntary. It was, but your daughter refused to voluntarily volunteer, so we did it for her. So let me see if I'm getting this right. You stole my daughter's property without permission, and then you defaced it against her will, and now you're accusing her of stealing her own property back and editing it back to its original form. Well, yes. Have you ever heard of human rights and big old lawsuits? You can't live in a box forever. I can once I've got my Wi-Fi set up.
You've done nothing wrong. Zimbel is a fake. He is a hateful, bitter liar. He's poison. His words still haunt you.
Apart from at the beginning, I've managed to not die so far.
Yeah.
And that was quite the gauntlet I just ran.
Oh god, that was an achievement. Every chip is a scene I won't eat, I won't write.
There's Jon Snow finally meeting his mother, which he can't because we now know who his mother is and she's dead. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
If you're involved in the fandom, the R plus L equals J theory was indeed correct.
You know what I like to do when I'm depressed? Have a nice hot cocoa, maybe in that mug that you like so much.
Oh look,
Oh, no.
it's that in that mug that you love and have grown attached to. It's gone now!
You loved it, and I took it away.
Because that's what I do!
Don't worry, Ollie. There are loads of heroic Kurt Johnsons to eliminate.
But yeah, I think this, both commercially and artistically, is a very important game. Because, I don't know how closely either of you follow game journalism, or GARM journalism, or whatever you call it. But, basically, at least according to Jim Sterling, companies only think two types of games exist. And that's the big, absurdly bloated AAA titles, as Jim Sterling would say, with the huge budget that can no way be sustained by sales, and the tiny indie games built on absolutely no budget. This game is a middle ground. They've put a modest budget into it and given a small team of committed artists a chance to work on a game. And it has done very well. So, you know, I think that's basically a really good thing.
Well, yeah, I agree. It's, you know, it's definitely in that middle ground area. It's too long to be considered a indie game, but it's also too short to be considered a AAA.
Yeah, well, they've called it Indie AAA, which is an oxymoron, but
Yeah.
I don't like the
also,
nomenclature.
There's also the nostalgia pop games. I mean, that's all Sonic Mania is.
Yeah, there's always there's a place for those.
That's fine. I do love the fact that recently they may have just hurt their own sales for Sonic Forces by admitting, yeah, most of the story work is going to be done in the Japanese part of the company, which is usually a red flag for, oh, that's never a good sign.
Hold on, I'm hearing voices.
Apparently, Sega of Japan have a very specific way of marketing Sonic, and apparently Sega of America do not agree with them, and neither do the rest of the world.
Marketing.
Well, no, they don't believe Sonic should have a personality or character. Apparently, they don't believe Sonic should be any more than what he was in the 90s. Well, I mean, like 91. That's it. They just want him to continue to be a... Well, that's just the Japanese part. They just want him to be a mascot and nothing more.
Well, mascots don't really work anymore.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Crash Bandicoot is literally only getting there because, you know, nostalgia pop.
Yeah, although if it leads to a Spyro remake, I'm all for it.
It is leading to a Spyro remake. Why won't people shut the fuck up about that? You are getting it. Stop asking for it.
No.
You're getting it.
Well, I'm going to continue asking for it long after we get it.
And I still consider that the Sonic Mania thing is literally just a whole, right, let's see who's right. The fan base, who are pretty much making Sonic Mania, and Sonic Team, who have pretty much dragged them through shit. But at least it's not Archie who's been dragging Sega through lawsuits. Court is not a nice place to be. Ever.
Like, I kind of feel sorry for people who still care about Sonic, because, like, they're at a pretty low point right now.
Yes, I know.
I mean, I'm completely indifferent to the franchise at this point. Oh, Seb's here. Hello. By the way, Heroes Night down there does misheard lyrics videos, and he's just covered the second Dragon Ball Super opening. Give that a look, viewers. There, I plugged you on my show.
But yeah, I know. We're pretty much at the Sonic fan base is at a low point, especially if you actually like the franchise. And it's depressing when you know that the thing, nobody is helping it, neither the fan base nor the creators. Well, actually, the guy who created Sonic is no longer anything to do with it, and looking at what he thinks of it, it's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, well, the Sonic fan base is diverse, and I'm not turning that into a weird thing. There are people who prefer the 3D Sonic games. There are also a lot of people who don't like them. So Sega is in a unique position that no matter what they do, someone is going to be pissed off.
Yeah, I know. That's basically the way it works. That's the way it works, because you've got the people who, yeah, you said like there's 3D games. You've got like the two or three people who like Shadow. Yeah. You've got the people who prefer the 2D ones. Then you've got the people who denounce the games at all because the comics did a thing. I mean, Sega will never admit it, but the only reason Sonic is alive this long is actually because of the comics. According to them,
I'm doing the third Attack on Titan opening. I'll look forward to that.
Nice. But yeah,
have you caught up on the Attack on Titan anime yet, Sam?
I haven't had a chance to get on because Liz has been using it to catch up with her anime, and I've been I've mainly been fighting depression.
Yeah, me too. I gave Sam access to my Crunchyroll account. Lately, I just watch old episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because
To
they
be honest,
have them all in English.
I want to give My Hero Academia a go.
Yeah, I do too. I've heard good things.
Well, I may have added some things to your queue, so if you look at a few things in the queue, you might see what I'm planning to give a watch. What?
Oh, I was walking on water. Then that's like that.
But yeah, they apparently they admitted that it was busy doing its whole thing of ruining Sonic in their eyes, doing the stupid stuff like the werewolf thing and everything else. The comics were forced to apparently take all the bullshit because Sega forced them to and do something with it. Which is the equivalent of, here's this mess I created, do something with it. And to their credit, they actually redeemed that stupid werehog thing.
Well, I'm not really a comics person, as you know.
Well, I know. It took them 4 years, though. It did take them 4 years to justify the whole werehog thing, and then they killed it off in grand fashion anyway. It's dead, and they kind of were forced to do it, but they apparently have to use things when the games introduce things they're forced into the comics. Sonic Adventure.
Such a great series. I assume he's talking about Attack on Titan.
Yeah, Attack on Titan's brilliant. Apart from the the PS4 game where you can hang out with Levi and you can replace your swords with mops.
Wait, so is that not a good game? I've got it. I was gonna play it.
It's good. It's just that whole mop thing just made me roll my eyes a little. I'm not cutting a Titan's leg off with a fucking mop. Not unless the song I Want to Break Free is playing in the background. Then we will talk. And you can play as Potato Girl. That must be worth something.
You see, Rain's father possessed a great treasure given to him by the gods. But Rain's brother, Fafnir, killed his father.
You call you Potato Girl.
Took the gold all for himself.
I don't like that name.
Fafnir
clean all the Titans, says Sam.
could not leave it.
Clean them.
I'll clean them all.
To death. We'll wash you to death, Colossal Titan.
I bet that skinless form of yours will be quite irritated with Lemon Pledge.
Ooh, I say, is that jacket not a fine polyester? If it is, we will purposely wash it on the wrong setting, and it will be ruined.
Anyway, I gotta go now.
Oh, alright. See you later, Ian.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. We'll see you around.
Yeah, it was good to have you back. It's felt empty without you. And thank you for the image of Superman fighting a giant spider because a guy can only get an erection when it's fighting something with 8 legs.
I'll send you the link.
Please do. I need something to laugh at sometimes.
They just get tears. Yeah, they just get tears in the eyes of every Titan by using cheap shampoo.
Okay, see you later. Ian.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
And it knows you are here, Senua. It can smell your stink.
Oh, and instead of a grenade, throw an aerial liquid tab.
But now it is step in the shadows.
Aerial liquid tab. A superb choice. Didn't even
I don't care
burst.
what. I've killed 2 gods already, and that was before I got this kick-ass sword. Whoa, what the hell is that? I stumble out of the shower like a naked Titan when I get blinded by the shampoo, looking for a towel.
Do you think that's what the armored Titan? Do you think that's what the armored Titan? That's what the Colossal Titan originally was. It was just a Titan who had just stepped out of the shower and was just looking for his towel. That's what all the steam was.
Oh, is this the dark bit?
Oh wow! Look at her arm. Look at her arm. It's like a bad art project, or that she stuck her hand up a cow's ass.
Yeah. Oh no.
Take
was
that.
Was I supposed to get a torch? Oh no, I think
purple helmets.
I think this is a point where I can still go back. Right, I'm outside it now. There doesn't seem to be a torch to grab.
Yet.
Oh, you gotta stay out of the shadows.
Hey, apparently Seb wants to go bowling with you tomorrow.
Oh, do you want to go bowling with me, Pete and Mike, tomorrow? I'll probably be in Bermuda at some point. Maybe. Or I could not. That was, that's also an option. No. I'll let you know what time I'm going to Bermuda.
How about we don't and say we did?
What about you, Sam? Why don't you nip down to England?
Oh yeah, let me just do that with the money I don't have. Oh wait, I've got a wedding next week.
But you're already married.
Yeah. Not me, you gimboid. My sister-in-law.
Ah.
And I've got to contribute something towards a photographer apparently. So that's going to be something. That's going to be my wedding gift to her, since she did pay for the photographers at my wedding.
It'd be awesome if Sam could join us. Let's call him. I might.
Oh my god! I didn't send you any pictures from my wedding. Oh god, I forgot that.
No, you didn't.
The highlight of my wedding, apart from the whole marriage thing, was literally my father-in-law pushing my mum over.
You're going to Bermuda? Bermuda Park is the name of the place where my gym is. Oh, I did run into Paul there today, by the way, Jack. I finally got him. Oh, she grabbed the torch.
Okay, now Ollie, don't fuck this up.
Yeah. Did he send his greetings? Yes, he did. He did indeed. Paul did indeed send his greetings. Ah, good. How is he? Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Paul.
So full of hate. Just want to help them. Tell me what to do. Your father wants them to go away, and he only hurts me to silence them. But he's gone now. They always come back. He says I will die if I go with them. They say
You are already dead.
stop. That's why they
What? Remember that horrible live action? God, remember that horrible live action one we watched?
Oh god, yeah, with Malcolm McDowell in it.
Help! Get me out of here! Don't go!
Malcolm McDowell. And in the end, Kenshiro didn't get any of his pork pie.
She took
No.
her whole life to escape it.
Now you can't have any of my pot pie.
She can't remember when it started.
Heroes who use their powers to become heroes.
Gazing past her towards a world she could not see.
Ah,
This is what happens if you...
I think it was called People with Superpowers.
Oh god, I remember when we used to make our own Metal Gear Solid abridged. You know, the other day I was thinking, for some reason, in my head, I kept hearing you go, intangible possum.
Ah, yes. I still want to finish that, but not as a series, just like a
I
one-off
know.
video.
I suppose she just didn't want to.
Gaseous possum and automatic bobcats have stolen.
Hijacked light bulb Noah Island. And are threatening to unleash plastic wheel velociraptor. Those bastards!
Bastards.
This looks like a job for intangible possum. This sucks.
This sucks. It looks like if Mon Mothma was Zordon. Remember that Zordon was racist thing from College Humor back when, you know, they did different kinds of videos where he's just racist. What? So I'm Green Ranger because I am Jewish and that's the colour of money?
No! You're the Green Ranger because you have the power to summon the mighty dragons, or?
Okay, a Jew? Okay, Jew? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, he can be other Black Ranger.
Why couldn't I move?
Oh, hey. Power sombrero. Okay. Very lovely. It was very nice. It was very nice. Sorry, complimenting Liz on her dinner. Oh, she makes some very good. She makes some very good food. Her venison steak pie is to die for.
Right, the water will put out the torch. I think this is the bit. Right, there has to be a place to relight the torch, apparently.
You can do it, Ollie.
Right.
I have like 20% faith in you. This looks like a job for intangible boss. Imagine if we'd done an entire episode like that.
Yeah. Right. Well, first I've got to find somewhere to relight the torch.
That's half the battle. You know, they never asked what the other half of the battle was. Knowing is half the battle. What's the other half? Violence.
Alright, there's a brazier. Right, I've got a torch.
Hooray!
I can... Now to find those runes, I can just light up the room. Is everything... Because you didn't sit down and eat your dinner like a man. Because you didn't believe in the heart of the cards. I have 0. 0 is a percentage.
Is everything reversed, like is Light Bulb Noah Island tropical?
Yeah.
We never actually truly established anything. I just came over one day and that was the intro you had for an episode. Plastic wheel liquid. It was a thing, when we were doing the Metal Gear Solid Abridged series years ago. We did a...
It wasn't very good, don't look it up.
It wasn't very good, so don't bother going back to watch it. We had I think Lisa was like the only person who actually watched it and demanded more episodes. But we watched... One of the things we did as an intro was one where we just said where Ollie kind of changed a few things. So instead of Metal Gear, it was Plastic Wheel. Solid Snake was called Intangible Possum. Liquid Snake was called Gaseous Possum. Lightbulb Noah Island. Shadow Moses Island. Still, it's better than that when we just tried to do a YouTube poop of it, where most of the joke was just Colonel saying he had no dick. Colonel, take it easy. Remember your heart condition. You remember your heart condition in hell.
Possum, possum, possum. Dum, 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 dum.
What would Otacon be?
I don't know. Otaku convention. So, what's the opposite of?
What's the opposite of, apart from, you know, a sports meet?
No, he'd be jock meat.
Call me jock meat. That sounds way too phallic.
And he'd just be like a meathead.
You designed plastic wheel liquid? Dude, I totally just drank way too much when we were building that thing. It's a
He'd just be a frat boy.
Yeah, and plastic wheel liquid would just be a mascot suit that was made badly with paper mache. The weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Crab battle.
Crab battle. Oli oli oh.
Brian the dwarf's sole desire is to possess this dragon's accursed treasure. And he uses
He's
Sigurd.
never seen a crab before.
He tells Sigurd the story of Fafnir's gold. And
Oh
the
my
good
god,
heart
those pincers. They look like they could shred a tank.
Rain would forge a strong sword for him. Rain the dwarf's sole desire is to possess this dragon's accursed treasure.
Ah,
And he uses
paramedic.
Sigurd to reclaim it.
Yeah.
He tells Sigurd
You know,
the story of
it's still funny that they basically retconned her as a woman.
promises to slay
Yeah.
if
Because they spent all of Metal Gear Solid 1 implying it was a man.
Yeah.
Sigurd remembers that his father once possessed a sword.
Small servant instead of big boss.
The sword to bring about Sigmund's death. Sigurd still has the pieces.
Otterdeal, the opposite of Con.
Sigurd uses the sword first to avenge his father, and then he and Rain go in search of Fafnir.
Would he just vomit instead of peeing himself?
Oh, dude.
Due to all the booze. Oh, Grey Fox. What about Grey Fox? Purple pumpkin. What's the opposite of a fox?
Rational ladybug instead of psychomantis.
Rational ladybug. Sniper wolf. Blade penguin. I don't know. Knives are like the opposite of guns, and sniper wolf. I don't know. Penguin opposite to a wolf. I don't know.
Well, they're not opposites. Cats and dogs aren't opposites. They're completely different species.
Okay, well, what's the opposite of a wolf?
There is no opposite to an animal.
Well, then we can't. Then how did we arrive at possum for snake?
I don't know. It's just something different.
Rational, like purple dog instead of grey fox.
Roy straight alarming.
Purple Labrador. We're not doing purple pumpkin. End of.
That's a vegetable. I think it would have to be an animal.
Fine. Purple Stoat.
Stout.
Yeah. There's no opposite to an animal, Liz. Cats and dogs aren't opposite, according to Wally.
Yeah, our species is so fixated on binaries that we actually think cats are the opposite of dogs. Which is fucking ridiculous.
Yes, yes, insert the George Carlin "What are you fucking stupid" video right here.
What are you, fucking stupid?
Yeah. When you get down to it. Roy straight alarm instead of Campbell. I suddenly want to throw Campbell's soup at something.
Flintlock pigeon instead of Vulcan raven.
No, right, that's it. I'm going to buy a load of Campbell's soup and throw it at people screaming "Time Paradox."
Time paradox. Rainy instead of sunny.
Well, come on, we're not doing an opposite to Metal Gear Solid as a whole. It would just be like a one-episode deal. Jubilation.
Just let me light the beacon.
Remember when I showed you that thing of Takata 101 doing that voice of that demon?
Yeah.
Jubilation. Now, let's see what we can do here. Well, they have this thing called effort. No! I burnt the house down.
Time and effort doesn't sell anymore.
Jeez. You spent the time not even talking about the video game. In fact, you spent most of the time arguing with people. And then you complained. Then someone commented, and you responded. Do you know what you just did? You just made a YouTube commenter correct. Do you have any idea what you just did?
Plastic wheel liquid war wheeler.
Now it's making it sound like we're some kind of Mad Max thing.
Yeah.
Still, it's better than snakeboarding.
Oh, come on, snakeboarding was fun.
Okay, it was fun. I also did like when you played the Metal Gear Solid theme backwards, and it somehow sounded actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, it did. It was quite a good composition. I might steal that.
This is worse than when Willy Wonka was in The Shining. That never happened. Oh, didn't it? Smack, smack, smack. You get nothing.
You get nothing.
Have you seen the robot chicken thing where he gives all of his stuff, you know, he gives all the stuff to Charlie, and then Charlie gets arrested for, you know, gets put on trial for the, you know, for the deaths of certain people at the factory?
No.
Because now he owns it, so he's liable for all of Willy Wonka's misdeeds. Do you have any last words, Charlie Bucket? Tell me, Willy Wonka, or I'll see him in hell. Augustus Gloop. Oh, he's dead.
Plastic wheel falling forgivens. And the grass snake unit. The discomfort. I like how at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 3, the Cobras ask if you're going with them, but she basically rejects you because you haven't confined yourself to a gimmick yet.
I know, it's funny when you watch the... Have you watched the theatre mode that's in the subsistence version where they've got, like, blooper videos?
Yeah.
So when she just jumps off the bridge and blows up and screams, "The joy!" and then Vulcan just walks on randomly. What's her problem? Oh, and also Raiden being raped. That was funny.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
When Sigurd became... Oh, what about when Sigurd became the hero?
Yeah. Metal Gear Sigurd.
Though nothing beats the whole where you wear the choco chip camo and then call Sigurd's.
Really?
If you do that, he starts talking about chocolate chip cookies and saying like the ones that Major Zero has, and then Major Zero chimes in and gets really fucking angry.
Oh yeah, they're not cookies, they're scones. They're scones. What exactly don't you like about James Bond?
Oh, that, and also, funnily enough, on the PS3 version of Metal Gear Solid 3, you know that thing where if you're in the cell and you save and then you wake up, you load the game and you're in a different game?
Yeah.
That's been removed from the PS3 version.
Really?
Yeah, which means that you can't have that conversation with Paramedic, where you complain about the whole, dream about Dracula. Because apparently that fucks Big Boss up like you wouldn't believe. So Castlevania is not one of his favourite things, apparently.
Yeah.
Who are we? The internet wrestling community. What do? Beg WWE to push our favourite star. What do we do when WWE pushes them? Call them shit, boring, not talented, and continue complaining.
Yeah.
Terry Funk wrestled his 100th retirement match.
Really?
No, it's a kayfabe thing. Kayfabe news. It's not fake news, it's predetermined.
Masonetvania. The teary-eyed.
Professional wrestler Terry Funk achieved another milestone today, as last weekend when he wrestled his 100th retirement match. The wily veteran from Amarillo's Double Cross Ranch came out of his 99th retirement to challenge his brother Dory, who just celebrated his 115th birthday, to one final match before running off into the sunset.
Again.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Every game ever has taught me that when I light all the torches, something will happen.
Two wrestlers score off to innovative double threat match. Trump challenges Kim Jong-un to hair versus hair nuclear war. Can the company survive without Eva Marie? Commercials briefly interrupted with Raw wrestling matches. Damien Sandow enjoying his WWE comeback as Elias Sampson.
They're not the same guy.
No, I know, that's a joke. Great Khali teaching Mahal all his greatest high-flying moves. And there's a photoshopped picture of the Great Khali doing a moonsault. Khali spent this morning showing Mahal how to deliver his signature inverted 450 Tandoori Terror Splash. As well as his devastating split-legged moonsault called Starship Sing. when Carly told reporters outside the performance centre that he was training Mahal because
Faces in the dark. Coming through the
Carly is described by many as the man gravity never knew in the first place.
The great Carly. He could barely walk, let alone wrestle.
By the time she realised that only
Dude, the guy moved his hand so slow, I actually thought, you know, how does he function in real life?
the monster.
Let's see. Returning Great Khali, portrayed by Glenn Jacobs. The Punjabi prison is actually a Pakistani penitentiary. McMahon versus Helicopter rematch confirmed for SummerSlam. Oh yeah,
What?
did you hear Shane McMahon was in an accident in a helicopter accident at one point.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that's what the joke was.
Oh.
AJ
no.
Styles
I thought you
finally
meant
earned-
recently.
Yeah, well, recently he actually has.
Oh.
That's one of the reasons Shane wasn't on SmackDown for a bit.
Oh.
AJ Styles finally earns the respect of his father Joey.
Right. I'll find the last of the runes for this door, but we've already gone over the 2-hour mark, so I think after that would be a good time to call it.
Yeah. Sheamus hopes to gain Indian fan base with new Ginger Mahal gimmick.
Ginger Mahal.
And there's a picture of the Big Boss Man and Akeem, and it says, conspiracy theorist insists demolition toppled the Twin Towers.
Are you any good at isolating vocals from tracks? I've removed them a couple of times, but I've never isolated them. I could look into that. Why?
Braun Strowman returns from sensitivity training, showing very little progress. I'm not finished with you, says Strowman to his half-eaten sundae.
Do you still think this is a short game? It's not as short as I thought it was going to be. It's still not a long one.
It's not a long one, but it's not short enough to be like, you know...
Ah. And that's just a shortcut so that we can get back here. Now to find that last room. Shit. No. Bruce Forsyth should have his own Let's Play channel called Good Game. I don't need to tell you which one of them said that, do I?
Seb.
Right, now that's where I came from. Right, the rune is around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's a shadow.
The beast is crawling into your mind, searching for weakness. It found your mother and used her to trap you in here.
Did you see her die? I don't remember. I was only 5. They told me she escaped the darkness, that she's with the gods. But what if they lied? What if the darkness took her and trapped her here?
Oh, come on, I doubt they'd do that. They were just a early 2000s glam metal band. They don't kidnap people. They said, what if the darkness took her and trapped her here? I doubt they'd do that.
That's hilarious to think about.
It's a trap. The beast is coming.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
You've lost it. It's over. Without his head, he will never bring his soul back. His fate is sealed. Now it can see you at your weakest. The time you suffered as a child at the hands of your father seemed no one pine for dear. Do you remember the darkness, Senua? The beast is bringing it back.
Why did you leave me? This darkness. It's spreading.
Unless it does genuinely consider
Father's keeping me away from the others.
toppling villains on
Away from Tilly. I won't give up. I'm not going to rot in here. I'm going to find Tilly.
Right. Actually, I think now would be a good time for... I think now would be a good time to end.
Yeah, it's we've done over our usual mark, and we've come pretty far. I mean, you haven't
Yep.
died once.
Well, I did a couple of times at the beginning, but
You know what I mean, in the general gist of things.
I've not died in combat, which is a plus.
Yep. So yeah, I'd say that now's a perfect time to end it.
Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll see you next time. Yep, that too.
Hey.
And we'll see you next time.